All right, 12.3. Solving addition and subtraction equations. Okay, so, for example, they want us to solve this equation, and what it means to solve means to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. Okay, we're going to isolate the variable on one side of the equation. Okay, so here is the variable, S. How we do that, how we isolate the variable is by doing the inverse operation. Okay, so we sort of it's the opposite operation. Okay, now the inverse of subtracting would be to do what? Adding. In other words, what do we check? How do we check a subtraction problem? We do addition. Okay, so the inverse of subtraction. The inverse of subtraction is addition. Okay, just like the inverse of addition is subtraction. Okay, now you have to think of an equation like an old-timey scale. Okay, on this side we have 18. On this side we have S minus 8. In the middle we have the equal sign. Okay, and so what we do to one side of the scale, we have to do to the other side of the scale, or it doesn't stay balanced. It doesn't stay equal. When it's equal, it's balanced. Both sides are the same. Okay, so how can I get this S by itself? What could I do to that side of the scale mathematically to get the S by itself and take that minus 8 away? What would I be able to, what could I do? Zach? Okay, but what I do to one side, I have to do to the other side or it doesn't stay balanced. In other words, if I just come over here and put plus 8, that thing's going to drop. Okay, because I didn't do anything to the other side. So you are correct, but I must do it to both sides for it to stay balanced. So here's what it looks like. S minus 8 plus 8 equals 18 plus 8. This is an equivalent equation. Okay, that's balanced. It stays balanced that way. Jesse, if I take 8 and add it to 10, what do I get? But then if I subtract 8 from 18, what do I get? 10. The original number I started with, right? Okay, that's why it works. These two here cancel each other out, leaving me with S is equal to, what's 18 plus 8? 26. And that is your answer. That's what S has to equal. And how you check it this way. You check by taking S minus 8 equal 18 and plugging in the 26 right there. So 26 minus 8 equals 18. 26 minus 8 is 18. So those two do equal, so the solution checks. This is the solution to the equation. Okay? Now, that's a whole lot of explanation to do a simple little thing. Okay? Yes, Jesse?
Can't you just add 8 plus 18 and then find out what S is?
That's what you're doing, but you have to do it to both sides.
But what about if you don't get it to both sides?
If you don't do it to both sides, then you have this. So you have to show it to both sides. Now, I understand what you're asking. You know what it's doing, but the problem is we got to have this foundation so you can do what we do in Chapter 7 next year, which I'm having to spend about 3 weeks on with one of the 7th grade classes because they didn't do it this way last year. They decided to do it your way, and now that we have harder numbers and harder equations, they're like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, I know, because you didn't do it last year. Because you decided to do, that's 8, or that's 18, or that's 22, or that's 24, yeah. But you got to know the process of what you're doing so we can make sure that you can do, this is just a brick that the rest of the house is going to be built on. Without this brick, the house goes, all right? So, yes, I understand what you're saying, and, yes, that's basically what you're doing, but you got to show me you know what you're doing. Okay? Owen?
Do we have to show every single thing this is?
No, I'm fixing to show you what you got to show.
Oh.
Yeah, you don't have to draw the scale and all that. I'm fixing to show you what you have to show. All right. Now, let's say we have this. Y plus 5 equal 14. Okay? What you've got to show me is what is the inverse of adding 5. So we got y plus 5 minus 5 equal 14 minus 5. These two cancel. I want you to show me canceling out, and that's how you show me. That gives me y equal 9. And that's your answer. This is what you have to show me. Original problem, work, solution. Oh, wow. Now, those are the two simplest problems in the homework. Okay? Brandon?
Why did you cross out this?
Because they cancel each other out. They cancel each other out because, like I said, if you take and add 5 to a number and then turn around and subtract 5 from that number, then you're going to end up with the number you started with. So if we have 20 and I add 5 to 20, I get 25. And then I turn around and subtract 5 from 25, I get 20, the number I started with. So they cancel each other out. If they don't cancel each other out, for example, some people get confused and they'll do this. Well, what is 5 plus 5? 10. Does that cancel each other out? No. Okay, so you got to show me that it cancels each other out because they're inverse operations. They cancel. In other words, if I take 5 minus 5, what is that? 0. Okay? So that's why I marked them out. That is wrong, obviously. Don't put that. All right. So let's say we have this. S plus 98 minus 27 equal 138. I want to do this first. What's 98 minus 27? 71. Okay, now I can solve it. So I simplified first. I simplified the equation first. Now I got to solve the equation. Okay, so that means I have S plus 71. The inverse of adding 71 is subtracting 71, equal 138 minus 71. These two cancel, leaving me with S is equal to what? What? 67. That is correct. All right. Now a little harder one. 3 plus F minus 17 equal 43. Okay? Two different ways you can do this. This is the easiest way. I'm going to put it in a two-step deal here, because this and this are not next to each other. So I'm going to do this. 3 plus F minus 17 plus 17 equal 43 plus 17. Here's the part I added to both sides. These two cancel each other out, leaving me with 3 plus F equal what? 60. That's the first one. I'm not done yet. Is F by itself. The whole point is solving is to get the letter, the variable, by itself. Is F by itself? No, it still has a plus 3. So now I do this. 3 Okay, understand those two expressions are the same. And if I was doing that, I would do this. Okay, these two expressions here and here are equivalent. They're the same. Okay, those two cancel out, because we know 3 minus 3 is 0. So that leaves me with F equal what? 57. Same thing over here. Those two cancel, leaving me F is equal to 57. So you can sort of understand why, we said at the first, I want you to write everything out. Then we'll even get a little bit more complicated. 12 plus 28 divided by 4 equal P minus 3. So for this one over here, we must remember, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, order of operation. So in that problem, on that side, what am I going to do first? 28 divided by 4. So I have to do this part first. So that gives me 12 plus what? 7 equal P minus 3. Now I still have this, which is what? What is 12 plus 7? 19 equal p minus 3. So this right here was simplifying. Now I can solve. I solve by doing 19 plus 3 equal p minus 3 plus 3. This cancels, leaving me with 22 equals p. This is also the same thing. Either one of those is correct. Did you get that, Jess? No. Okay. Let's see. Once you try, oh, well, that's okay. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Once you try this one on your own. J plus 38 equals 4 plus 5 times 3. And I'm going to change that times sign there to a times dot. I don't like using variables or things that look like variables. Okay? So step 1 here is to simplify the right side, just like we did in that one up above it. Hey, who has an answer? Anyone? Jesse.
I didn't get it.
You didn't get an answer? Well, if you work it out.
I'm trying to fix that.
Zach, what'd you get? J equal what?
57.
No, not 57. I may have tricked you here. Emma? No, not 11. Let's look at it. This one's going to be a little different than what we've done. All right, so first we have to do this. So, that is J plus 38 equal 4 plus 15. Okay? So that's J plus 38 equal 19. Okay, understand where I got the 15 was right there. 5 times 3. Okay, then I took 4 plus 15, and that's 19. Now, I have J plus 38 minus 38 equal 19 minus 38. Okay? Now, these two cancel, leaving me with J equal 19 plus negative 38. Because we have to follow our rules for integers. Adding and subtracting integers. You must change the addition to subtraction. That gives me J is equal to negative 19. Do what? How did you do 19 plus 38? Did you do plus 38 on the other side? All right. He doesn't do curls for the girls. Is that what Josh said? All right. Let's look at this one. 35 minus 56 equals H minus 47. Okay. Now, over here we must do this first. Okay. We must simplify. So that simplified is 35 plus negative 56. Because our rule is, remember, circle, draw the arrow, do the opposite. Chapter 11. Huh?
Wouldn't that just be the same thing?
Same thing as what?
Well, when you subtract 56 from 35, it's going to turn into a negative.
But that's the process.
But
Because the process, huh?
what's the point of changing it to a negative? Yeah.
Okay, if I don't change it to a negative, what do you have? Why do you have a negative? There's no negative there.
Well, you can't.
No. You didn't change it to a negative. So A, if you don't change it to a negative, you can't do that problem. Because there's no rule that says I can do 35 minus 56 because 56 is larger than 35. Basically what you're doing in your head is the process. You just told me you're going to take 56 minus 35, which is 21, and you're going to make it a negative. That's the process. That's the rule. You just did the process. You're just doing it in your head. Okay, but that's what you're doing because we have to take the absolute value of those two numbers, the absolute value, and subtract the absolute values and keep the sign of the larger absolute value. And that's what we did. But now I'm left with this right here. Okay, which means I got negative 21 plus 47 equals H minus 47 plus 47. So this is my inverse operation, doing it to both sides. Okay, and that means I have 47 minus 21, because I take the absolute value. 47 minus 21 is 26, and it's positive, so H is equal to 26, because those two cancel out. And that is your solution. So this, once again, this right here was the simplify. This right here was the solving. All right, so your homework. 12.3, 1 through 14, and 17 and 18.